It's every person has a calling upon their life from God, and sometimes it changes. So at times like this, when maybe you're struggling with where you are in your life or with God, ask God to reveal your true purpose. What are you called to do? And if you had been called and had heard it before, maybe it's time to embrace it again. Because that's part of the struggle that we have, that we start to burn out on being of service to God and to others, that we struggle with remembering our purpose. So that's something that we do to help us to endure, to persevere, to be re-energized. Like, God, help me to remember or to know in a new way what your purpose is for my life. And help me to embrace it and be energized by it. And then the next thing that we can do is we can get into understanding once again the interests that we have, because we're called to do what God has given us gifts to do. It usually is connected to what we're passionate about, but sometimes we lose connection with what we're passionate about. So we need to embrace that again. And then number 3, we need to have not only an understanding of our purpose that extends to our future, but also to understand it, to have endurance right now in the short term. So for me, one of my callings is multimedia ministry and to create spiritual art. So I, at times, need to get back into remembering what inspires me, or what God is teaching me even within the midst of my struggles. So the reason I'm teaching this spiritual art class is because 8 years ago is when I started to paint. I just started 8 years ago. It was a part of an actual church outreach where they were teaching people how to paint. And this pumpkin was like my 3rd painting. And that it energized me. And even as I paint, it helps me to meditate and to be creative and just enjoy life. And that's part of my calling, and that I need to do it every now and then to be re-energized. And that's my hope, is by sharing it with all of you and trying to teach you how to paint, that in some way you will teach me. That's the blessing of being a teacher, is that it goes both ways. You always learn something new when you teach someone else, and then you learn something. And then we get to share in it. So I know that for me, I need to maybe listen to music. Sometimes I like to watch a biography. I just watched this biography of the comedian Jonathan Winters. I don't know if anybody remembers him. He was a famous comedian. He had his own talk show and all of that. And I didn't know he was an artist. And he had painted these paintings that I found fascinating. And I watched that story the other day. And it really inspired me. It energized me. And they say that if you get back in touch with what energizes you, it will change your whole state of being and your state of mind up to 20 to 25%. And sometimes we need that boost. Because we are always encouraged to express our gratitude and thanksgiving to God, because God has a plan for our lives, and it will end good. That God is with us, and we can be grateful, we can rise above our sufferings and struggles, and enjoy this life in one another. So I encourage each and every one of you to write out your gratitude, to make it a prayer, even expressing it to one another. And that is a wonderful gift that every now and then, and this past week, Tanya and I did that with each other, where we went through and just listed all the things, or at least the top 10 of what we're grateful for. And I know when I received her gratitude list to me, it really brightened my day, especially when I woke up and I had a nightmare, and I was like, oh. And I looked at that gratitude list and I was like, I'm glad I woke up this morning. I'm glad she's in my life. And I'm glad all of you are in my life as well. So may you be grateful, may you be blessed, and may us enjoy the rest of this day. Amen.